Hello, and welcome back to Laying It Out. I'm Chelsea Pockets.
And I'm Scotti Dempsey.
And yes, you heard it right. The two of us are back together on the same episode. I missed, 2 episodes ago? You replaced me with Mike. You missed last week. I replaced you with Sponge, a.k.a. Dottie Skempsy.
Yeah, it's good to be able to talk to you, and now I'm on, better Wi-Fi, so hopefully there's no lags for any listeners out there that may have noticed that everyone has kind of been compensating for the fact that when we're recording, my computer or Wi-Fi or whatever gets really laggy. So hopefully now you're reacting to me in real time. But yeah, Pockets, it's been a tough one getting here, and this is going to be a mini episode for sure. Not a lot of real Frisbee updates, but definitely some stuff to talk about.
Yeah, Scotti and I both had kind of shitty weeks.
Yeah.
The more funny one for me, my car got broken into.
That's not fun.
It's now looking back on it, it's a little bit funny. I might correct my statement when I find out how much insurance is going to pay for. But if anyone is familiar with Pat at all, the Edgeley field is not the safest field in the area. I woke up from my new apartment at 8 a.m., drove with Sponge to go pack up the last of my shit because I left a closet full of stuff that I'm a last minute packer, just couldn't get it all done. And then Spring League Finals was also this past Saturday. So I was like, oh, we'll park at Edgeley. I was parked around other cars. The door was locked. There was no valuables in the car. It was literally my dirty laundry, my printer that I bought freshman year of college, a lamp, some random shit. We did Spring League Finals. That was 4 hours. I come back to my car and I open the door and I look at the passenger side window and it's just shattered and the center console is just left open. Thankfully, again, nothing was in there. Nothing was stolen. But then I'm just there with Sponge and fuck. And I'm just screaming what just happened? Do I call 911? Blah, 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 blah. But yeah, called 911, had to sit there for another hour, just cleaning glass out, waiting for the police. Got a police report. Took it today to the shop. I'm going to figure out what to do with insurance. But yeah,
that's a fun start to your week.
That was the end of the week.
Okay.
That was this past Saturday. And then the other news that I told Scotti just 10 minutes ago, earlier in the week, that my parents had to put my dog down. And so it's just I've been crying a lot this week.
We're going to have to call this episode Summertime Sadness. Cause do I have that much positive news to share? I mean, I do. Cause we definitely have some Frisbee news we can get to, which is more exciting.
Share, but I wanted to get the bad shit out of the way first for me.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so sad. Paisley was so good. I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
That's always hard.
She was a sweet lady, but I think with these purebred dogs, she was a King Charles Cavalier Spaniel. For anyone that knows the breed, they just that breed is known for heart problems, just golden retrievers are known for cancer and stuff like that. So, yeah. But she was a sweet doggy.
She was good. My mom's gonna be sad when I tell her she loved Paisley too. Is it my turn for my sad news?
Your bad news of the week?
Okay, so for any YouTube watchers, you can see that I have a new background. I moved out of my apartment in Manhattan, and I will be moving into a different apartment in Manhattan next weekend. And I'm currently at my parents' house, and it was with the intention of me just being here for a week while I was between leases. And then I got COVID. And it's not even so much I got COVID, because I'm not really 100% sure where I got it. So I went to a Frisbee tournament outside of Boston, mixed Easterns last weekend, the weekend of June 4th and 5th. So we listened to your episode with Sponge on our way. My parents listened to it. in the car with me on our way back, and it was super cute. And I had like all sorts of commentary that I texted you afterwards. I was like, this is my input on it. And I tested negative before that. I tested negative after it. And then Wednesday morning, I woke up with a fever, with chills. I was covered head to toe in goosebumps. I couldn't stop coughing. My throat was super sore. I had a headache. My nose was running. I was like, this is like having mono. I was so fatigued. I had to take like breaks every time I went up or down the stairs. It was like having mono and like walking pneumonia all at the same time. I have like honestly never been so sick. And I was like, I feel like crap. I wonder what this could be. And then Wednesday morning, I tested negative for COVID again. And I was like just taking Dayquil and trying to flex through the workday. And then Tuesday, I took another COVID test because I was like, it has to be COVID. Like I was exposed the week before and tested negative 4 times and had no symptoms up until like last week and like a couple days ago. And I like stuck the thing. It was like one of those like weird like lollipop ones. And I like stuck the swab into like the solution, and the solution went up, and the second it passed where the positive line was, there was a line. And I was like, oh, so she like has COVID.
She was super positive.
I was very positive. Yeah. So today is day 4 of like what is like that's supposed to be like the mandated 5-day isolation period. My symptoms are almost completely gone. I still have a little bit of a cough, and honestly, like I'm still pretty tired when I exert myself. I'm having this issue where I'm super active. Obviously, you guys have heard me talk about like the 2 fall leagues I was in, and then winter league, and then like playing pickup, and my boyfriend coaches frisbee. So then like we would just go throw frisbees together and like work out. And then I, played spring league, and I was playing frisbee like 3 days a week. And now I made a club team, and then I spent a weekend playing frisbee. And then I stopped moving completely for like 4 days. So now that I'm feeling better, I have a lot of pent up energy. So I went for a 1.5 mile walk today, and then had to take an 1.5 hour nap. So hopefully I don't cough if I laugh too much on this. But, the only thing I can say is I probably would have had it worse if I didn't get vaccinated or boosted. So that's the good news.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you're feeling better, because you texted me and you're like, I feel like shit. I have 100-something fever. I'm like, oh God, not Scotty.
Yeah, I was like, this is my last words. Goodbye.
I've seen those TikToks where it's like, I don't want to get COVID now, because not just because I don't want to get COVID, but I don't want to get COVID in June 2022 because that's embarrassing.
Oh, it's so embarrassing. I know. I'm so behind the trend. All my friends got it like end of March. I was like, come on. At least now, like I have the 90-day like impervious period of like for the full summer. Now I can go like lick the boardwalk in Wildwood and be like chilling, right?
There's other things. There's other things on that boardwalk.
I know. I'll probably get like E. coli from the boardwalk, but I'm not going to do that.
I mentioned this whenever we were talking about Wildwood last, but like 2019 Wildwood, I went, and then I was sick for a week after, and that was before COVID existed, and it was horrible. It was the worst experience of my life. Yeah,
being sick in the summer sucks. Like, it's nice that I'm at my parents'. Like, I was already here, so it's like really not the worst thing that I'm stuck here. They can take care of me. My mom already had it, so like I kind of have free reign of the house. I can go sit outside and crochet. I can go on walks and like not really have anybody bother me. It's not quite like if I was in Manhattan and I would have had to just sit in my like 6 by 8 foot room with like one window that doesn't look outside, I think I would probably die. So I have access to the outside. My mom cooks for me. Her pony's sick right now, so that's like the most like pretentious thing I could say. Her pony's sick right now, so that the horse is currently getting more attention and pity for being sick than I am, and I'm only a little bit salty about it. But at least I can take care of myself. I have thumbs and I can take Dayquil, so it's not too bad.
Yeah, you're not a pony.
Yep.
Well,
so that's my sad news.
Yeah, we got the sad news out of the way.
Yeah.
It's only happy news from here on out. You hinted at it. You made a club team. And
I did.
I don't think anyone's going to be surprised about it because you talk about this team all the time. But
yeah, I accepted my roster spot for Unlimited Swipes. I'm excited. It's kind of funny playing for like all these New York City mixed sectionals, like trying to make regionals level club teams because there's 4 of them. And then with the addition of Grand Army, who is usually is at regionals or pretty much always makes regionals, like that's 5 that are all trying to float around and occupy the same space. So what sucks is like, I think in theory we would be a lot better of a team if we weren't in New York City. But hey, I'm really excited because these are my friends and they were like kind of the first friends that I made in the city. And then I stepped away from Frisbee last summer. And so now I'm excited to like come back to it and like really do it my way. And I think I've gotten a lot better in all ways anyway. So I'm really excited for it. And honestly, I was just looking at the roster. My boyfriend made a whole roster announcement graphic and it looks pretty cool. And I like every single person on the roster, which like is a good thing. And it shouldn't be shocking, but it's like every single one of these people would be someone that I could like call in an emergency. So like that's how much I like the people on the roster. So I'm really excited, and I'm excited for like away tournaments because we talked about I never did that with Peep Show. We never stayed in a hotel with them. So so it's going to be a summer of new experiences.
Tournament that we stayed away for Peep Show, we literally stayed at your parents' house.
Yes, because it was free and they made us dinner and we were broke college students. And you met my horse. You did. Yeah. So that's my roster announcement. Pockets. We've been sitting on this one.
I know. This is what I was hinting at last episode that I was really fucking annoyed about is I've been sitting on this roster announcement for 3 weeks, but I made Jug Handle.
Woo!
And they sent an email out when they like kind of announced the roster. They sent it to everyone that was officially rostered. And then they were like, oh, these people we offered spots to, but they're still trying out for other teams. Because for some reason, AMP, their last like tryout was like June 4th and 5th weekend. And we were talking about this like over text, and I'm like, is that normal?
Yeah.
For like a top level nationals team to wait that long to draw out the tryout process that long? Because people that don't make it, they're gonna have to fall through the cracks to other teams somehow. And just like I feel like making other teams wait is like a little annoying. But then the other half of it is like, oh, the college students that maybe don't go to college on the East Coast or near Philadelphia or whatever team is hosting the tryout, like they still deserve a chance to try out. There's a lot of really good college students. And so now like I understand like pushing it back, but it's just like annoying because I've been wanting to talk about this for 3 weeks and Jug Handle was like, oh, don't tell anyone until the roster is official. But we've had 2 practices now and I feel like I can talk about it.
Yeah, that's nice. I totally get that with the high level teams because Exist and GA didn't really finalize their rosters until pretty recently as well. So it's I don't know. It's weird. I guess it makes sense from both angles, but I'm still going to complain about it. Yeah, I get that. Well, we're both on club teams. So what Frisbee tournaments can we look forward to seeing you at, Pockets?
Oh, God. I'm not prepared for this question. Let me pull out my email. I think we're going to Philly Open and Philly Invite, but let me confirm.
Well, I can answer my own question while you search. We're going to be at Boston Invite, Philly Open, and the Incident, which is a weirdly named tournament in Van Cortlandt Park. And I was like looking at the schedule and I was like, wow, only 3 tournaments? Like club season's so short before the series. Like obviously sectionals and then like we can hope we make regionals. It's tough out there to make regionals in our region, but yeah.
I think 3 is normal because even in like the college season, we would do like 3 tournaments in the spring and then sectionals and regionals.
Yeah. And I mean, it's going to feel like a lot when I'm traveling all these weekends, but like looking at it on paper, being like excited for the club season, I'm like, I want more, you know?
Play your first tournament, see how you feel on Monday morning, and then tell me if you want more. Okay?
Okay. Yeah, especially after having COVID. Coming back from this.
Yeah, hopefully you don't have long COVID and can actually run around. All right, so it doesn't actually list 2 of the tournaments. It just says Tournament Philadelphia on June 25th, 26th. And then Tournament Allentown, which I'm assuming is Philly Open, on July 16 and 17.
Yeah.
So I think the first one's Philly Invite. I think the second one's the second one's definitely Philly Open. And then we're going to Elite Select Challenge in August, which is in Indianapolis.
Ooh. Yeah. Are you going to fly?
I truly hate flying, Scotty. Part of the reason when I was coaching Penn and we went to nationals in December, I was like, I don't know if I can go because that means I have to do a cross country flight to California. I'm just like the biggest wimp when it comes to flying, but obviously if no one wants to drive with me, then I'm going to have to fly to Indiana.
You should just like take a Benadryl or something and so you like fall asleep for the entirety of the flight.
I guess. I never like take medication to sleep. I tried melatonin once and it just made my eyes like itchy. I didn't actually like fall asleep, but I think I was also trying to fight it. I have a phone addiction. I lay awake at night looking at my phone. It's bad.
Yeah, I feel that.
But yeah, I'll talk about jug handle more because this is the most high level ultimate that I've played besides maybe some like random like league games where it's been higher level than the rest or something like that. And so it's been fun. It's been challenging. The first practice I was a little nervous because then my knee started hurting towards the end. I was like, oh God, my club season's gonna end before it really even began. But then like people were talking to me, they're like, oh, like do this, bend more when you're cutting and stuff like that. And then practice 2, which was literally just yesterday, and I feel so tired. It was fun. We have 4-hour practices.
That's crazy. Do you have like extended breaks? Like how hot is it?
Yesterday was actually like the sun was out for a little bit, but it was like the most perfect intense practice weather where it wasn't raining, but maybe like every hour or so a little drizzle would happen to cool it down.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of weather. So it wasn't bad, but the week before it was so hot.
I love club.
Yeah. I mean, the tournaments are going to be longer than 4 hours, so I guess it's just like working your body up to it.
Yeah. And like conditioning, especially outside of practice.
Yeah. No, I've been good about the running. I really got to do the weightlifting though, because I have my little twig legs that aren't doing much.
I know. Once again, we revisit our we need to get back in the gym conversation.
Oh, we had that whole spring cleaning episode and we're like, yeah, oh my God. Just also like, I don't want to listen to any old episodes because remember when I'm like, ooh, I could make amp. And then no, gets cut in the first round.
It's okay. I think amp probably cuts a lot of people first round. That doesn't diminish your achievement of making jug handle at all.
Oh, I know. It's just like a young Pockets being a few months ago was like, I'm gonna do all this stuff, and now I'm just like, jug handle's a lot of fun, and I don't mean to diminish them because they're not amp level, but I'm really enjoying the team. And hey, when I had my car broken into, I immediately emailed them. I was like, hey, I don't know if I could go to practice. I live in this town. Can anyone drive me? And the captains were immediately like, oh no, like here, we'll put you in contact with all these people. I met one of the practice players. She picked me up. She lives like 10 minutes from me. So now we're going to carpool to McCuddle and every practice together. And it was just like, Wow, all these, I know we've talked about like using Frisbee to find new friends, but all these people are super nice. And
That's great.
I'm enjoying it.
I'm so glad to hear that. Yeah. Crazy that all you had to do was have your car get broken into.
I know. I was telling Sponge, I'm like, okay, nothing was stolen. Like, no one got hurt, at least that I care about. I don't care if the car breaker in, or I almost said carjacker, and now I can't think of what the term is. I don't care if they got hurt because they broke my fucking car window.
Yeah.
No one got hurt, and because of that, I met someone that I can carpool with. Yay.
It all works out. I'm so glad.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's exciting. I'm like thinking if I have any other updates that like we could move along.
Can you tell me when Manhattan Summer League is starting? Because I had one of my pen players who's living in the summer. She was there in the summer. She was like, have I missed the thing for Summer League? And I like just looked online and it was still like, stay tuned for Summer League info.
Yeah. Yeah. They kind of are like, it's coming. It's coming. It's coming. Here's the info. Sign up right now. Like, that's it. So, luckily, she's a defender of women, so I doubt that she will have any issue getting placed on a team.
Okay.
And I will let you know as soon as it goes out, because then, of course, everyone, like, in our whole swipes, like, friend group is texting each other, like, okay, who wants to baggage together? And then we all sign up. So I will know the second that it goes out, and I will let you know.
Cool. Because McCuddle's already had, like, 4 games. I'm like, what are you doing?
Our spring leagues ended last weekend.
So it had a spring league ended just this past weekend, and they also started summer league just this past Friday.
Well, I think we're gonna get like 2 weeks of Gulty. We being a loose term. I'm obviously stuck in Albany and can't do anything, but everybody else can do Gulty.
Yeah. I'm privileged not living on a little island city, so.
Yeah. Governed by permits. So fun. But I'll let you know, and I'm sure listeners will have plenty of new content once our summers get underway, what we can talk about as far as like advice, because I know we talked a little bit about things not going our way. Pockets got cut from AMP and I got cut from Grand Army, which was a bummer and definitely a frustration because I still haven't gotten a feedback email from them.
Ooh,
it's been 3 weeks. So I'm not salty about that one, but that's those have been our setbacks, you know, podcast opening aside. Anything else
this is a shorter episode because we've been dealing with some shit, okay? It's been a shitty before, like, until like this morning, I was gonna have to do an episode with Sponge. I love that man, but I didn't have another thing to talk to him about because, one, now I live with him, so I talk to him every day, and it was going to be like, oh, I could retell you the story of me making jug handle and meeting all these people that I already tell him the minute I get home from practice. I get home from practice at like 7 p.m., so we're getting ready to make dinner, and I just talk at him about jug handle practice, and I describe the 4 hours in detail. I'm like, oh yeah, I got this poach tee, and oh, there was a turn on their end zone, so I sprinted deep and I got it in our end zone. And I'm like, oh, and I met this person, they're really cool, and this person has a really loud whistle. It's just like, the poor man detail does not need to be on another episode. Also, I think we should have a rule where, because Lubes has been on twice and Sponge has been on twice. Ooh. And if you are on a third time, you are no longer a special guest. You are just another podcaster. They're
no longer like a friend. They can be a friend of the pod. Or
they can be a friend of the pod. I feel like we use that term all the time.
I love using that term.
They could be like super friends of the pod.
Super friends, yeah.
If you've
it's like
been
when you host
episodes.
SNL 5 times, you get a jacket.
Ooh. We should. Ooh, can we have laying it out jackets?
Yeah, we'll call Zach and make sure that he makes those for us.
Oh God. We gotta figure out, and like sneak peek, we might have some laying it out merch if we can get our shit together. But if you follow us on Instagram, Zach Mabry made us these really cool laying it out sun hoodies that we wore when we saw each other at the Jug Handle and Tryout tournament.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're great. I actually wore it all day because I didn't want to get sunburned, and I didn't get sunburned. I just got really hot.
Yeah, well, it is a black sun hoodie. I wore mine for the first time at like Summer League the other day, and it was really nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it a lot. So yeah, hopefully we'll be able to finesse that in the near future. I don't really foresee there being too many issues aside from us just, getting our shit together.
All right, and that's it for this little mini episode. Even though it's been a bit of a crazy time for the two of us, we do have a PS zone ready for you. If anyone either went to Poultry Days or is on Twitter and just follows every Ultimate player that seems to have gone to Poultry Days, that happened this weekend. Little party tournament out in Ohio. Scotty and I personally have never gone. But I have noticed that there's like a lot of different factors that go into the different party tournaments. Wildwood being a big beach ultimate one. Fools Fest, which I went to this year, which is 7-on-7 on grass. Highly competitive. So we were just going to talk about the different characteristics that could make a party tournament and talk about our favorite ones. And then also just our favorite and least favorite parts about going to party tournaments. PS on to hear about that. But for now, I've been Chelsea Pockets.
And I'm Scotti Dempsey. And we'll catch you on the flip.